What's wrong, Princess Latte?
Oh, I'm just having a really rough time with this. I'm working on Van Gogh's bedroom right now, but his lines are just really throwing me for a loop.
They are really strange. Is that perspective on accident?
No, it's not on accident. Van Gogh did this on purpose. At the particular time he was working on this, he was very interested in Japanese woodblock prints. So the odd angles and the color blocks, and if you notice the lack of shadows, it's all on purpose. He actually really loved this piece too. He did 3 different versions of it. Did you know that?
No. What did he do with the extra versions?
They were for his family members.
That's so sweet.
I know.
Well, at least you're doing the drawing, so no one else has to.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So for Van Gogh's bedroom, what you'll need is a downloadable coloring page, which you can get from the link below. You'll need markers. I like my Copic markers, but they tend to be really expensive, so any kind of marker will do. Just try to make sure you have 2 of each color. You'll probably want to spread down some poster board or maybe some newspaper, because with these we're going all the way to the edge of the page. And finally, don't forget to bring your creativity. Ready to color in Van Gogh's bedroom in Arles? Let's start with our light brown marker and start coloring in the floor first. Van Gogh keeps a pretty clean room. There's nothing on the floor, so you can see the wooden boards. Do you see that my strokes look a lot like wood? These big strokes are the impressionistic style. Instead of just coloring in the whole space without taking my pen off the page, I'm making a lot of long marks and starting new ones. And my marker's starting to run out of ink near the end of this. Guess I've been doing too much coloring, huh? But that's okay, because we're going to go over this whole thing once again with yellow. The layering of colors gives it a more realistic look, not to mention the whole room is very yellow tinted. Now we need to add some shadows. So the table and the chair are casting shadows on the ground, right? Just like you cast a shadow. Shadows aren't actually black or gray. They're a darker version of whatever color they're on top of. So we're going to use a dark brown underneath them. The bed casts a little shadow too, but most of it's covered up, so we'll just put a dark outline around the bottom. We can use dark brown in place of the black line art. Once again, this just gives it a more realistic feel. You know what makes this painting very yellow? His bed is yellow. I'm going to use my yellow marker to color in his bed. Then we'll use the light brown we used before for the shading. We'll color in the pillows and sheets with the same yellow, but because we didn't use light brown on them, they look pretty different. Now his blanket is red, so you can use any red you have. I start with a regular red and then add dark red on top, but it would look good in most colors. Okay, this is the last big block of color. Let's color in the walls a nice light blue. Yep, doors too. Then we'll go over the doors of the dark blue. Any shade of blue you have that is darker than the one you used for the walls is fine. I have a nice medium blue that's similar to the light blue we used. Now I'll add a little green to the lines on the doors for some personality. Now let's color in the window green. I'm going to start with a light green and then use a darker green to get the look I want. But really, any green you have in your marker box will look great. The chairs are a lot like the bed, so let's use a yellow and a light brown to get the same look as the wood from the bed. Then for the cushions we'll use yellow. If you have some very light green in your marker box, I would add it to the lines on the chair to the left, and at the bottom to the chair next to the bed. This is a little closer to the color Van Gogh used. Don't have light green? They look great in just yellow, or even regular green. Now the shutters for the window are closed. I'm going to color them in yellow first and then add some light green on top, just like the chairs before. If you don't have light green, you can either just leave them yellow or use whatever green that you have. Now this frame to the left is a mirror. You can just leave it with the lines that are already there, or I'm going to color it in a little bit gray, just in the top left where the reflection of the wall shows. Then we'll color in the frame. I'm doing dark blue, but it's fine in any color. Now this is where you can get creative and add your own touch to this Van Gogh painting. First, color the frames however you would like. I left the picture frames blank so that you can fill them in with whatever little drawings you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and color mine in, but you can draw them in with pencil first if it helps. I live in a place where there are a lot of trees, so let's draw a tree on a hill. And this is Van Gogh, right? So I'll try to make them look like Van Gogh's sunflowers or irises, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be fun. In this little one, I think I'll just color in a little heart. Can you tell it's a heart? I'm not really sure. Let's see. Let's make this table medium brown. Do you have a brown that's darker than what we use for the floors? Let's use that to draw in this table. First, I'm going to use yellow, then put that medium brown over it, but leave the top blank. You can draw any of the things you have in your room that you'd love to have here. I'm going to draw on a coffee mug because I always have a cup of coffee with me. That's why they call me Latte. I love Van Gogh, so let's write I Heart VG on it. And I always have a book on my table, so let's put that next to the mug and color it in. Let's fill everything in that we haven't colored yet. There's some clothes hanging on a board in the background. You can color these and the towel hanging on the left whatever color you'd like. Or you can use the same green, gray, and blue that I'm using. Then the color on the board hanging them up is a medium brown. And there, you're done. Isn't it amazing? It's time to hang it up on your fridge.
All right, we're done with Van Gogh's bedroom. Geez, I wish my bedroom was that clean. And we have the perfect spot for it in the refrigerator.